back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I've got a very special guest. We actually planned to do a video a while ago, but I was a bit unwell, so I'm happy we can reschedule this and do this video. Today I'm joined by Lee from the Gooner Gathering channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
I am absolutely thrilled to be here, Soph. It's so lovely to see you again and talk to you live on stream. I've been looking forward to doing this one, especially with lots going on. I've been a little bit poorly, but I'm rearing to go again. I'm fit, rearing to go, and I'm looking forward to an exciting stream today.
Yeah, I'm glad you're well because I know you had COVID and we just spoke off the stream how awful it is to have COVID. I've had it as well. You've had it. It just tires you out. So I'm very
I would
happy.
definitely wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Honest to God.
Yeah, it's not something you'd want. It's horrible. It's not good. So I'm
Made me
happy.
lose my hair, Soph.
Oh, you're still here with us. You still made it. So
I'm still breathing, guys. Don't worry. It's all good.
yeah, you're still okay. But yeah, I'm glad you're all well. And like you said, there's been a lot going on. A lot of Arsenal. There's so much going on right now. So many rumours. A lot of that's going on. I did want to start off with obviously the Havertz news. It is looking likely that we will sign him. It's happened for like a little bit now. There's been a few rumours about that. I think now it's looking likely we will actually put the bid in for him. What have you made of that, and what do you think he will bring to this team if we do sign him?
I think certainly in terms of the likelihood of happening, of course, it's had the Fabrizio here we go, so it looks like it's imminent. I have a second screen set up unusually for me, so I'm keeping track of what's going on. I think it's actually a really good potential signing. It's when all this broke the other day, I thought it was a bit of a strange one to start with, I must say.
Yeah.
But then it sort of struck me, I'd done a little bit of research like I always do. When he jumped onto the scene in Germany, he really come in with quite a lot of promise. It looks like he's going to come in sort of operating sort of just behind a striker. So I would suggest this won't be the end of the attacking options coming in, I would hope. We'll come back into that in a minute. But if he's going to operate, say, behind a Jesus, Martinelli perhaps, and Saka, do you know what? That sounds quite a little tasty recipe to start with.
Yeah.
He does bring a bit of physical aspect to him as well. He's 6'4". He does win his fair share of duels up in the air, and proven winner as well.
Yeah.
Won Champions League, scored in the final. I will say this. It is going to be one that divides our fan base. It divides myself and my broadcast partner, normally Pod 30. We've just been talking on Gooner Gathering about exactly that. We have differing views on it. But that's the whole point of a debate. I would say this is a young player who at 23, 24 still has plenty to prove. I can see the reasons why of his potential of what he does bring to the table. There are still questions with him, of course, because his time at Chelsea hasn't really worked out probably as well as they would have done. And if you look at the Chelsea situation in general, it looks like they're taking a heck of a loss on him in terms of the fee. I mean, I haven't seen the paperwork myself, strangely enough, but it does seem like I think they paid about 90 odd million for him. It looks like they're taking about a 30 odd million pound loss on it. So
yeah,
we shall see how it develops. What are your feelings on this one, Soph?
Yeah, I think I'm sort of with you on this because originally, like, I wasn't sure because at Chelsea we do see that he does miss a lot of chances. And we sort of laugh at that when he's at Chelsea because for us it's funny seeing him miss chances. But I think I've had time to like think about it, and I do think he probably adds more. Like a lot of people have said, like his movement on the ball, getting into spaces, like a good quality he has, and I do think there is a lot of positives. I think Arteta wouldn't bring him in if he didn't see anything in Havertz. Arteta must see something that we might not see just yet. But yeah, I think like you, I'm just sort of I would support whoever comes in, and I think it's just important now that we get like a clinical goal scorer in, because we need someone who can probably score maybe 15 to 20 goals a season, and we will be in the Champions League as well. So we need that someone to come in. Obviously, we have got Jesus, but we do need someone to help us, with that. So I think I'm just going to see how it goes. A lot of fans like aren't sure, but
Yeah.
I think for me it's the price that I was surprised at, because I've seen bits of like 60, 70 million for him, which does seem a lot. But I think as long as we sort of do bring someone in to score lots of goals, I'm happy really. So I'm with you really. I'm open to it. I hope we get right.
We'll come on to rice in a bit. I think we'll carry on with Havertz, and we'll jump on to
We'll come into
rice
that
and side dishes later.
Yeah, it's really weird. Whenever you go on Twitter, there's always people talking about Declan Rice, and I just think let's just sign him so we don't have to talk about it anymore, because I just want to get him. But yeah, also talking on sort of strikers, I've been reading that Arsenal are open to listen to offers for Nketiah this summer, but will only sell him if the valuation is met. And I think they're open about 30 to 40 million for him, which I don't know if they would get for him personally, but Nketiah did have a part to play in last season, helping us with that title race. He did score some important goals. For you, are you surprised by that news? And do you think this would be a good move for Arsenal to maybe move him on?
Okay, so it kind of doesn't surprise me. Did I see that comment right? We should get Maguire.
Yes, you did, unfortunately.
Oh dear. Okay, so with Eddie, right? Yeah, he absolutely had a part to play over the last couple of years, but is he really going to get a place in the starting 11 for his career? Is he of that? So let me sort of explain what I mean, because it's very, very well documented, and I'll explain kind of what I mean. That I'm very much I love Eddie to pieces. I think it's because of his Arsenal. He's been with us a long time. I took a bit of a shine to him. Obviously, England under 21 top goal overall top goal scorer, right? But so he signed the new contract at the back end of last season, and I put out a video on my previous channel, which was Cannon Chatter, if you all remember, and I said, I'm excited for him because it meant that he was sort of locked in for a little bit, and we wouldn't lose the player as a free transfer, like we have done on many a player lately. If you think about the likes of Aubameyang, Özil, Kolasinac, etc., right? Now Arsenal have got themselves into into the Champions League, and we are moving on to a level above where we were. So we went in last season challenging for the Premier League title. We were challenging for the Europa League, although unfortunately that never really came out. As my broadcast partner,
Amazing,
Prosperity, good to see you, my friend. So we couldn't quite get on or pick up the trophies or anything like that. However, it's a case of going above and looking at above levels, if you like. I'm not sure Nketiah would get a starting 11 at Arsenal. And for his career, it's better for him to probably move on. I mean, he was highly linked to Crystal Palace last season. Thank you very much. There will be other players, other teams looking for him. I'd say this though. I'm well for the Havertz thing coming forward. I don't think that necessarily replaces the position in the squad. I see
Mhm.
Havertz as more, if you think of Xhaka playing in an advanced midfield role like he did last summer, I do see Havertz coming in over that. I'd see Eddie potentially moving out. I'm not sure if Balogun's going to hang around at Arsenal or not.
Mm.
That's for another discussion, perhaps. But I would like to see another striker if possible.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Harry Sucks at YouTube. That's a great name, by the way. That's a
It's a such
fantastic username.
unique name, isn't it? Yeah, I'm with you. Like, and we've had opportunities to sell him, but Arteta, Eddie probably wanted him to stay, and I think he sort of deserved to stay for a bit because he did earn that. Like when you play well, when you perform well, you sort of earn to stay longer. So
Mm,
I don't think they made that decision wrong. I think he deserved to stay, and I think next season will be another competitions that will be important for him to play in. But I'm with you. Like you can score maybe up to 10 goals a season, but we need more than that. We need someone that will get us, be consistent. I think Eddie is I think he's a great player. I think he can score intelligent goals. But I just don't think he can do it consistently. And I think that's the issue. We need someone that will score goals sort of week in, week out, consistent with that. And obviously we'll be in other competitions. So
mm,
yeah, it's obviously a hard one because I know we love Arsenal and I will be sad if he does leave, but I don't know if he will actually because I think if they want a big price for him, I'm not sure that they will get it, and if they don't get it, they probably won't sell him. So,
mm.
but I guess for Eddie and his career, probably wants somewhere to be for a while to be happy there and successful there. So, yeah, I thought that was quite interesting because he's been here for a while and I thought he would stay for a
Yeah.
bit, but we do need someone to come in. We're in a position now where we've challenged for the league and we want to like maintain that and keep like being up the top and to improve that. So I think yeah, I definitely think it's important that we bring players in that will help us, but
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what will happen there. And obviously, Arsenal also have shown interest in Ajax defender Timber. That came out of nowhere for me. It just all
Mm.
happened last night. I went on Twitter and it all just came out of nowhere. No, United have shown interest in him, and Arsenal will definitely want to strengthen their defence next season. We know with Saliba, I think we collapsed a bit without him. We struggled. He was missed. Do you think he would be a good replacement, and would you be happy to have him at Arsenal?
So with this one, Soph, I'm going to be absolutely straight with you. Up until probably about 24 hours ago, I didn't really know much about him. Now I have done my research. I have looked back at some clips and stuff, and from what I've seen, there looks like a really good defender there. But that is only going to be based on a very, very short amount of
Mm,
time that I saw in a couple of YouTube clips. What I have seen of him, it looks like he's very good at the interception side
no,
of the.
Harry. We're not signing any Spurs players, by the way. Sorry to interrupt.
I don't. Sorry, you stopped me. Where was it? Right. So he looks like he's one that's got a very good interception on the passes. Looks physically quite imposing kind of player. Looks pretty decent on the ball. My understanding, he can play right back, centre half. Um, and you're absolutely right. One thing I will refer back to something you said a bit ago. When Saliba got his back injury in the Europa League game against Lisbon, our season really did turn, unfortunately, for a lot worse from us looking really secure and safe at the back. We went to starting to really started conceding them goals on a regular basis. Unfortunately, the three against Southampton comes to mind for straight away. The goals against Bournemouth, that all happened post that match, and it does again. You want to talk about upgrading our depth of squad, for the longevity that Rob Holding has been at the club, and he's had some great moments, and he's, great moments, or maybe that's an exaggeration. He's been at the club a long time, and he's been reliable as cover, and he's often used as almost the speciality third centre half. just to see out a game or two. But is he going to bring us forward into another level? Don't know, don't think so. And
Yeah.
And perhaps this Timber can knock down some trees, and it'll be very exciting to watch. That was another bad joke of myself. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
Yeah, I agree. I think like Rob Holding is good to have. Like as a backup, there's been I think the Aston Villa game where we won, where Lennon made that great save. He came on, we had 5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
I think those type of moments I'm happy with him playing. But when we're playing Man City and he's got to play for the full game, I don't feel comfortable, and I don't think it's right for him. I just think it's too much. I think he has been a good servant to the club. I think he's a good player, but I just think right now I don't think we could play him in like against Man City, against Liverpool. I just think I think it's too difficult for him, and I don't think he has the pace as well to deal with like the Haalands because he's just too good. He's just too fast, and
absolutely right. That's the key with the Premier League as well. It is so fast. Remember, I think Holding came in under Arsene Wenger, and that does seem like an age ago to me.
Yeah, like a decade ago.
It does. It does. It feels like so long ago, and feels like the pace of the game is getting quicker and quicker, quicker. And it's like I don't think he really did get exposed. I'm particularly thinking of the FA Cup tie against Haaland. I'm particularly thinking of the league game at the Etihad, where, let's be fair, they absolutely rang us absolutely ragged, didn't they? And really that threw the spanner in everything, and that led to our downfall in the old title race ultimately. I'm not pointing the figures at just one player, by the way, because I think that's grossly unfair. Because I think you win as a team, you go down as a team. But But I think what I'm probably getting at more than anything is how important Saliba was, and let's hope for goodness sake that he'd be good to go for the start of the new season, because he's such a vital cog in that.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think with like Rob Holding, I think if he is staying at the club, he's okay as a backup. But I think he's probably my third choice. Like, say we're playing Man City, Saliba's injured, Timber plays, okay, and if not Timber, then Rob Holding. But yeah, I think people can be harsh on him sometimes. I think Rob Holding has been a good servant for the club. He loves his club, and he does care, and he's done a good job. And this season, he has been good in certain games, but it's just hard when it's too fast paced for him. And when you see teams, Man City, they strengthen every season. Obviously, we know how much of a big squad they have. So I just think, maybe it's time to move on. But it will be interesting to see what we do there, because like players like him, El Neni, I just feel like they're just happy to be around the club because they love Arsenal. So it's quite nice, but I don't know. I think sometimes you do have to move on, really.
I mean, it's, you talk about Holding. Holding is an okay sort of player against certain opposition, right? But when it comes to that elite level, I think it's really, really difficult for him. El Nini's a different one, because El Nini brings you a solid sort of player when he's fit. I also think that he's, like you say, he's another sort of slightly more experienced player, in the same way like Jorginho is. And I do think there is a part to play for him if he can get himself fit. And even if he can't get himself fit, do you know what? He is actually doing other things, much like Rob actually as well. He's doing the coaching badges. He's and Xhaka as well. Funny enough, he's been doing training with the academy players. He's been getting the necessary licenses and whatever for when his career is over to go over as a coach. So look, I'm not saying El Nini's the greatest player in the world. He's a very solid, kind of reliable international player that can keep hold of the ball and keep it safe.
Yeah.
But he's more of a, how can I put it? More of a sideways kind of player, more than a progressive kind of player, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, like I really value him. I just think he's a
Mm.
great person. He's a great person to have around
Yeah,
the team. But yeah, I think like whenever he comes, he loves the fans really. He will give everything on the pitch. But like you said, I think he's just a good squad player to have. I'd probably say
yeah,
that's it because he's not gonna like take us on to the next level, but he can help us. So
yeah,
personally, it'd be nice to have him on talking on midfield. I thought we could, talk about Declan Rice now. Arsenal
yeah.
did put a bid in earlier in the week, but got rejected. Arsenal have gone on to put another bid in of 90 million. We obviously know West Ham do want around 100 million, and Arsenal really, I feel like they don't want to do that. Really, they want to just get it cheaper as possible. But I think for
Mm.
me, I get why they want 100 million. It's like if say like Man City wanted Saka, I think we would milk it as much as we could. So like I think I understand because Declan Rice is their captain. He's like the heart and soul of the club. He's just a great player at their team. So
Yeah.
I understand. But for you, do you think that's too much money for Declan Rice?
That's a really good question, Soph. Look, he's an elite level midfielder. I think
Mm.
I do see him more of a defensive type midfield player. I knew these
Why
sort
did
of
that make
comments
me
would come
laugh?
in, right? But he's better than that,
Yeah,
he's got a lot of ability. I think it's really fun to compare him with Jude Bellingham
yeah.
because and he's gone for an awful lot of money up to Real Madrid now. And you're right. If you were buying a house or a flat or whatever, do you, when you initially put that offer in for your mortgage, etc.,
Mm.
do you put down that really high? And it's Roddy talk about like over £100 million, right? What Arsenal are trying to do is negotiate a price. Um, I don't think they're far away in terms of agreeing this one because
Mm. Yeah.
they've gone back and forth a little bit. I don't know quite how all the knowledge of everything comes out to people like me and you, and
I
and
know.
the Twitter sphere and all that sort of thing, because it's. Can you believe this? There was a time when I was about your age and there was no Twitter or anything, and we just had to wait to see it coming out in the newspapers. It was
You'd
amazing.
have to be patient, which we don't need to be anymore.
Exactly, and that's the thing. There are people that are going to just put the money down, just do it now, rah rah rah. But look, they are negotiating behind the scenes. I think there is probably an agreement between the sides that they want the deal to happen. It's just a
Mm,
case of getting that fee right. I don't think we're 100 million miles away from getting this one over the line. I think it'll probably happen by the end of the week. Now that the internationals are finished with, as I said, probably on Friday when the story was coming up, they were bidding, etc. I said I'll be really surprised if anything happens between now and Monday when we had these England internationals, which are competitive games, at least on paper, as in qualifiers, right?
mm.
Which Declan featured in, right?
Yeah.
Um, but now that's all done. I have seen some mysterious footage of him getting a haircut and looking all nice and trim, just like myself, right? So getting all set maybe for a big reveal. Who knows? Could happen.
Yeah.
I'm really hopeful that because he's going to be such a key man to move us along to a new level. I think, and he's a young player with so much leadership on his shoulders. Learned really well in terms of leadership as well from Mark Noble over at West Ham. Took over the
Mm,
captaincy last season over there at West Ham. He brings so much leadership. He seems like such an awful nice bloke as well. In all fairness, yeah,
yeah.
maybe that's not what everyone wants to hear, but he just seems like a nice sort of guy. And yeah, he'd be a tremendous asset for Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should just keep going for it, even if they asked 100 million. I think we do need replacements in midfield. Like obviously we know Xhaka's going, but it's looking like Partey's going as well. So
Mm.
I think bringing him would really improve our midfield. Obviously without Partey, it will be a shame if he goes. But I think Declan Rice is what we need right now. I just think he's an amazing footballer, and like you said with Jude Bellingham, sometimes you do have to pay these type of prices for players these days because, I kind of think he is worth that price. It is a lot of money, obviously. 100 million is a lot, but I think we've just got to, I think we've got to pay it. But I think it would be interesting to see will West Ham decline our offer. I think they will because they want 100 million. They're very adamant that that's what they want. But with Declan Rice, we both know he's a great player. Would you say that the price that they want, obviously 100 million, do you think that he's worth that? Do you think?
Oh,
Because it's hard because I'd
yeah,
probably say from 70 million to 100, around that. But it's obviously a really difficult question.
yeah, and for someone of my generation who sees that sort of transfer fee come over, it just makes me go, "What is anyone that worth that sort of money?"
Yeah.
But look, I suppose in the current market, and like I said, comparing him to Bellingham, that sort of price tag seems like what the going rate is. Whether I think that's right or not, whether I think Arsenal should be paying that sort of money, might be a different issue entirely. But if that's the going rate, if that's what they're looking for, I don't like it, but I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I think listen, if it's 100 million, we've just got to do it. I think I worry that maybe like Man City will take him. I know United are interested, but I think it's looking like they will do it right now because I just have that feeling that he wants to join Arsenal. I think obviously with England, he gets on with Saka. It just feels right. They've got a great connection, and I just think it
I
would
saw your
be.
tweet, so I
I
saw
love that
the picture
picture.
looking very wholesome.
It made me so happy. I was
Yeah,
like, I just want him. I've always wanted him though, to be honest. I think he's, like you said, as a person, he just seems so amazing to have around this team. And like you said, he's got that experience of other players, and I think that would only help us in the dressing room. So yeah, like you said, hopefully this week that will get done, or if
yeah, I'm
not,
hopeful.
within the next few weeks. Now, talking on like positions that we need to strengthen in, for you, what positions do you think we need to strengthen in, and how many players do you think we need to bring in? Because we know with Man City, we sort of want to sort of get to their level. We need to kind of maintain. We need to be close to them. So, what? How many for you?
If I'm realistic, so I'm gonna say we're gonna need at least 5 or 6, and I tell you, and the reason why I'm saying so many is because I do see quite a lot of business happening going outs as well, and
Yeah.
we were short in terms of squad depth to go in and finishing off the job last season, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be other players with question marks over them, like Tomiyasu, for example, very, very good at covering both fullback positions, had a massive injury, and we hadn't seen him in months. Likes of Cedric, who's in the first team squad, went
Yeah.
on to Fulham, didn't have a great season. I think he probably played 7 games off the top of the set of my top of my head, as Posh Bertie just said in the comments. A centre half, if not 2, would be lovely. And then we're looking at midfield, and if we can get Haaland off City, that'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
He
know what I
is.
mean? An absolute worldie of a centre forward would be
No.
fantastic. What what does Maguire bring? I'm going to address this. What does
He wouldn't bring
Maguire
anything to this team. It'd probably make us worse, if anything.
bring to Arsenal that Rob Holding doesn't already have?
Oh god, I
Oh,
know.
I'm
I'd
just
rather keep
stirring.
Rob
Don't worry.
Holding. Oh my god, Rob Holding and Maguire
It's the
now.
dream. It's
I
the
could,
dream partnership.
I
Bertie,
could,
you're a troublemaker.
my
I told you
heart
that
could
earlier
not
on.
cope with that. Maybe we should
He's
give
winding you up, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm
Ah.
with you. I think for me, we
Hmm,
should get like probably 5 players. I think
hmm.
definitely midfield. We need to. I think if Partey and Jack were leaving, I'd probably bring in 2 or 3. I don't know, probably 2. It's hard to and it's obviously we can never predict injuries, so it's always
Yeah.
tough on that. Definitely a striker, which Havertz probably will be. I think centre back. I think we definitely need, which
Hmm,
it looks like we're doing. Right back as well, because with Tomiyasu, I really like him. I think he's a
hmm.
great player, but he gets injured for like half of the season, and it's really tough because obviously Ben White can play in that position, but
Hmm.
it's nice. He's sort of more at centre back. I think he prefers there. So,
Yeah.
but talking at like left back, Tierney, I think he's set to stay now. He's had
Looks like
conversation.
it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Do you think? What do you think of that? Do you think that's the right thing, or because I know he doesn't get
For
a lot of.
Arsenal, yeah. Mate, I've got so much time for Kieran Tierney. I think he's a fabulous defender. This is my hot take on this one, boys and girls. And I've just mentioned it on my live a minute ago that there's a real good chance that Arsenal change a bit of their shape and style of play a little bit. I honestly think I can see Tierney playing as a sort of left side centre half alongside Saliba and
Yeah.
Gabriel. I see Zinchenko potentially doing that left wing kind of thing. I can see Rob. I've done it again. I said exactly the same thing on my thing. I'll get it right. I promise you. We'll get Ben White at that right wing back kind of position, but he's not one to necessarily bomb up and down necessarily. He can do it. He can do it. Absolutely, he can. I do feel Ben is better in
Yeah.
that defensive thing. So when we're in possession, we have that sort of go into that four, and then he can go and do his thing and go inverted, left, right, centre, wherever he wants to go, because that's what he does. That word inverted does my head in. I can't stand it. But this is what I think he's going to do. Yeah, I heard this one as well. We'll get into it in a minute.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next.
I really want Katie to stay. He's an absolute quality player. A lot of us would have been calling for him to play at left back, not inverted as a proper defender at Man City because of the space that eventually did happen. As Posh Bertie was on the commentary that night, let Kevin De Bruyne have the freedom of the field. Just go and help yourself as much as you want there, mate. Go for it. Yeah, Tierney's an because I'd hate to see him go into another Premier League side, particularly.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Newcastle. Obviously, that is a name heavily linked with KT. Who Newcastle are going to get better and better. By the way, that was this man's hot take a few months ago that Newcastle are going to end up potentially like the next sort of Leicester City in terms of challenging Premier League, etc., and whatever from a few years ago. In terms of a side that's not necessarily built of superstars, but really solid sort of outfit that did really well. Katie, yeah, absolutely must keep. What do you think? What do you think about Alexis Sanchez, Soph?
For me, even though he went to United, I will still always personally love him because growing up, he was the player that I really loved watching. So, I will always appreciate the good memories. But for me, that ship has sailed. I wouldn't want him back because I don't know. Is he like in his 30s? I think he's in that stage of his career where it's probably his last few good years, and
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he was really incredible for us. The goals he scored was just incredible. I wish
Yes,
he
the
could
Villa
have.
Cup final comes to my mind straight away. So
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I think for me, I would have loved him to win the league title with us, but he did give us some great memories with the FA Cups. But I think for me, I don't think that would really help us right now. I think we need someone that's quite, younger, that's probably going to take us that next level. But what do you think about it, Leah? What are your opinions on it?
Yeah, I'm with you here. So, look, as much as we can be nostalgic about the whole thing,
Yeah.
and look, Sanchez had some wonderful moments. I can think of. I
Mm.
can think of the game away at West Ham where he scored. Didn't he score 3? And he
Oh,
scored a
that game was incredible. I love that game.
beautiful lob finish for the third. A guy that's got so much talent. Guy that really regretted his move to Manchester, even like after training session one by all accounts. But it doesn't fit the agenda that Mikel Arteta is bringing to the club for me. Do you know, there is one forward now. Unfortunately, this ain't going to happen because the lad has picked up a bad ACL injury, and as much as my broadcast colleague, who is still watching, I'm pretty sure, is going to rip me for it, I would have loved just to pick up Tammy Abraham.
Do you know what? I'm with you on that, actually. I quite
I
like
think he's
him.
terrific. As a centre forward who knows where the goal is, quite direct, quite pacey. I think the days of Arteta playing may have slightly gone as
Yeah,
well.
they've gone, and he plays in midfield, doesn't he? So
It's funny how he adapted his role as well, from being a very attacking player turned into quite a defensive player. So,
yeah,
but we're moving off from where we need to be. But
yeah, I
but
agree with you.
but I mean, it's a shame for Tammy. He's picked up. I think it's a nasty ACL. He's another fully paid member of the ACL club. But thank you. I'm glad you like that one, mate. I'm appreciating that. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen because I think he's going to be out at least until probably November, December time. I think is what I'm hearing. So, and another name that would have been great is Ivan Toney. I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say that I liked him. I
he
think,
has a lot of attributes, doesn't he? He again, almost a natural finisher, just like Ian Wright back when I started watching
yeah,
the
he
Arsenal,
reminds me
right?
of Ian Wright a lot. Yeah, I think it's such a shame. I mean, we never know. We could end up getting him in January if things. Because I've not been reading a lot about what happened, but I know he won't be playing football for a few months.
He's
And
got a big ban, hasn't he, because of the betting
yeah,
thing. It does
and
put up a lot of questions in terms of his character, and I
yeah, his
think
attitude. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of how Brentford are taking this as well. I know if I was a teammate of him, say,
Mm,
I'd be quite concerned right now because if he's gone, the argument I believe is he's put
mm,
in certain amount of bids against his very own side. That's a massive no. He should have known an awful lot better than that. And he feels it feels to me like he's acting like he's the big victim here. Nah, sorry, mate. No, you've blown your chance as a top level,
mm.
not just Premier League player, but as an international player as well. Just my thing.
Yeah, like for me, I've always thought he was talented. I've always loved watching him, but just like the small doubt in my mind has been, has he, with not saying he does have an attitude problem, but I've
Mm,
always worried that with everything that's happened, would that affect the dressing room, and we don't really want another a Bamiyang thing, or we don't want people
good shout.
that will cause us that issue, but I think I do like him and I'm open to it in the future. But obviously if we sign someone, it would have to be in the summer, not like a few months after the season, because we definitely need that striker. Harry just asked, how far do you think Arsenal would do in the Champions League? Now,
You're gonna win it.
yeah, for me, right, growing up, I've just seen Arsenal do really bad in the Champions League.
Mm,
Um, and we've always got battered by Bayern Munich, Barcelona, and
I'm
it'll be
scarred.
yeah. I don't think that will happen this time. I don't really know how far we'll go. I generally can't predict. I just don't know, because in the Europa League, I know the Europa League is different. Obviously, I think the Champions League. I think players, you probably feel more motivated in the Champions League, because the Europa League for me, it doesn't excite me at all. The music, the tune, the anthem of the Champions League is very exciting. So,
Yeah.
But Feely, how far do you think we'll go in the Champions League?
Look, we've been out of that elite level competition for such a long time now. It's going to be so exciting to see the lights go down, see all the light show going on, the music playing, and all that. Crumbs. It's all going to depend on the draw. I need to make sure I'm wising up in terms of the new format of it as well.
Yeah.
Because I do think it has changed a little bit. But look, let's hope. I'm never one to go too far in front of. Yeah, that absolutely that. Don't go too far ahead of myself. So what I would like to see is, first and foremost, is let's not embarrass ourselves, and let's make sure we get out of the initial qualifying group, and then we'll go from there. Because that is my conservative answer, because I don't want to get too carried away with myself.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Thank you, Posh.
I think for me, like, I just don't want to be embarrassed or humiliated.
Yeah.
I want to, obviously it'll be hard to balance the different competitions, I think, but I want to just be proud of how we're playing in the Champions League. But I think a lot of it, we're just very excited because we've not been in it for such a long time, and it feels like, the season when we finished 5th, it was like we're so close to getting it, and we didn't. It was so hard to take. So very, very happy we are in the Champions League. It doesn't feel real that we're in it because it's been so long.
So what we're going to say to that, Soph, is that how can I put this? I was as up as I'm sure you were last season. So not the one just gone,
yeah,
the one prior. Yeah. When we were just hanging that 4th position, and we might get Champions League, and it's funny how short 12 months are, because then you all of a sudden we're feeling down on ourselves, aren't we, about being runners up in the Premier League, etc. But if we qualified for that Champions League previous season, if we were playing that level rather than Europa League football, and it's all very much hearsay and innuendo and all sort of rumours and stuff, but would we have been able to compete for such a long time like we did for Premier League title last season? I'm not sure. I don't think we would have had that depth in the squad. Now, I think would have to, and would absolutely have to, because it's people's jobs on the line, right? It's like, I'm sure Arteta would have a list of players of who he wants to have in that club, and it is Edu's job, my understanding, to do that negotiation. Now, my broadcast partner would say to you that he couldn't negotiate his way out of a paper bag, but this is where we're at. We have got to get the big deals done so we can compete on all levels seriously. People got quite upset, didn't they, in the Europa League when they make so many changes, etc. Because you've got to go and win the trophy and stuff, and that's how you judge success. It's by picking up them big trophies at the end of the season. Some would argue that, did West Ham have a more successful season than we did because they picked up that big old trophy at the end of the season? I would argue that the league is, under 38 games, and we talk about consistency. There you go. That's a great line from Posh Bertie. I'll read it out. If you ask Edu to get a burger from McDonald's, he'll bring you a Rustler's instead. Other burgers are available, but you get what he means. I mean, this summer as a whole is massive for the club, and the direction that we want to take in terms of bringing us up to compete in the likes of, like a Manchester City, say, the likes of the big clubs, like we saw the big clubs in Italy, the Milan clubs
Yeah.
going at it in the Champions League. Oh, it'd be so great to see us up there. Let's see how it all goes. Early in the transfer window, everybody, but I think this week everything's hotting up.
Yeah, a lot's going on at the moment. It's very exciting, and obviously we will face Man City in the Community Shield, which I think's in around August time. Like someone was asking me this the other day, and I see it both ways. Like if Arsenal, lose to Man City, do you think that will define the season, affect the season? And I think for me, I see it as like if we win it, it's a good starter for the season. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean we're probably better than Man City right now. We're probably better on the day than them. So, how are you feeling about that coming up? And I think for me, I personally think it's so important to bring in like a Declan Rice and Havertz before that game because it will set us off the season in the right way, I think.
Yeah, I mean, so important to bring up that the fixture has been changed to Sunday, the 6th of August, with a 4 o'clock kickoff now. It was going to be later, but of course, there was a big feedback from a lot of the City groups who would have found it very, very difficult getting back up to Manchester, for example. Look, the Community Shield is nothing more than a glorified pre-season friendly, ultimately, right?
Yeah.
It's a great little thing to have. It's a great warm up. It's a great fundraiser for some tremendous causes. Ultimately, yeah, we'll have some strong sides playing some fantastic football. Let's hope we start off well on it. It is not the be all and end all, right? But we have to go with it like it is a competitive game, I guess. Because look, we used the word a little bit ago when we were talking about the Champions League in terms of you don't want to go out there and get turned over, etc. Look, be really interesting to see how City face it and how they want to go at it as well, because they do tend to have a rather huge squad, don't they? And it'll
Yeah.
be really interesting to see how we line up against each other. But there's a lot of time to go between now and the 6th of August. You're absolutely right in saying getting business done. Oh, it is so important to get the players in. I mean, we've spoken quite a lot of players already on the stream tonight. It'd be so good to get them in there so they're all ready to go into the States for the pre-season training, to get them pre-season friendlies in. There's a massive game against the MLS All-Stars to come up. I think we've got Man United coming up over there as well. Just for them to get used to playing with each other, and if there's a potential of a change of system, it'll be really good to get used to doing all that before we get into the big games against the likes of Forest and when we start playing the proper stuff. But to answer your question about the Community Shield, look, it's a great one to have. It doesn't really count as a major trophy, really, but it'll be one that'll be nice to have. It'll be a lovely way to start the season off, especially after the way we finished the last one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think it's just like a great opportunity for us to start the season with some silverware. Obviously, it would be a bit disappointing if we lose, but I think it's not like a league. It's not like we're fighting for the league. It's more just something that will start us off great at the season. And I think for me, if we don't win it, then yeah, that's okay. I just want us to put a performance in that we're proud of and just try and beat Man City. I think that would give us confidence going to the league because we do struggle to beat Man City. But yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on that. Also, going into next season, by this time, I presume we've obviously got a few players by then. What would you say, like, your expectations are for next season? Last season we were so close to winning the league, but we didn't really give it a go in other competitions, and obviously next season will be in the Champions League. So, for you, what are your, like, aims and goals for next season?
Look, I think we have to be we're Arsenal Football Club at the end of the day, so we need to be competing for these honours. It's a real shame for me that the cup competitions, the domestic cup competitions, really did pass us by last season. But then
I'm with you on that as well.
But the squad wasn't necessarily set up in a way that we would have wanted it to. And if I'm making sense, that it all goes back to having that competitive squad and a lot of rebuilding that has to be done over a certain amount of time. I think this is that time now where certain players have come to the end of their Arsenal tenure. I'm thinking certainly looks like Xhaka, certainly looks like Partey, for better or for worse, he's heading out as well. But it feels like they're going to, so certain players will be going out. That will be some serious money coming in, by the way. But that will be really needed to be reinvested. So we can, to allude to my broadcast partner again, Posh, to pick up trophies. Ultimately, that's how you judge success. It's really interesting. There's a point that one of my guests had brought up the other week, and it's something that's really played on me. And it's the simple thing of the League Cup, Carabao Cup, ever it's branded these days. It's sometimes quite often ridiculed.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll be called. I remember my dad calling it the Mickey Mouse Cup many, many years ago, right? But there's been occasions. The last time Arsenal picked that trophy up, I had such a great time the other weekend watching that footage with Posh on our Twitch channel, just to give him a sort of bit of a it's almost like a history lesson, in fact.
Yeah.
But and it's back in the days where I had long blonde hair and everything. It was great. But the clubs like Manchester City, like Man United, who picked it up last season, they've been picking that trophy up on a regular basis. Certainly City has. Pep Guardiola has such a affinity with that competition because it breeds success. You pick up that trophy, it makes them want to pick up more trophies, right?
Yeah.
It kind of, I wonder, has my attitude been to that competition? Is that wrong? Is the club's attitude to it, where they go and field a lot of younger players, like academy prospects? Should they be doing that rather than putting the first team players? I don't know. There are so many games that get played over a league campaign, over a strong European campaign. I don't know. And in terms of the FA Cup as well, is one of my very favourite things. I have
I love the FA Cup.
I have so many awesome memories of FA Cup finals gone by. But it's so tough, and you've got to be an extraordinarily talented squad, like as much as it would hate to say it, right? But how good City are to be able to pull off coming from behind, right? The last furlong to go. We were in Ascot season, so we'll bring up a horse racing term, to come out that last furlong and manage to overtake us on the league campaign, to pick up the FA Cup and demotivate Manchester United in 15 odd seconds, as they did with Gundogan's goal to open that game up, and then to go and win Champions League as well. I mean, we're talking levels of football there. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure Fergie's Man United side could have rivaled, in just the way that they pulled it off. That is the level that we need to be at. I mean, it might be a bit of a pipe dream, Soph, but we as Arsenal fans have to be that ambitious. And what hurts more than anything is, because it's been so long since we picked up that league title. It's that elusive league title. I mean, that a lot of your generation would not have actually seen us do, and it's so special to see us pick up that wonderful league trophy at the end of the campaign, it kind of makes me feel that a lot of people's patience have been really tested, especially because of how it ended up. Let's hope
Yeah.
for the next season that we can get to that level, get to replicating something like City can do over that long period, and not get so close with it just going out of our grasp. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think obviously we did go for the league, and if we had won it, we wouldn't be talking about how we should have gone for other competitions. But I think because we didn't win it, I just think for me, I just feel like I want us to go for, like you said, the League Cup, the FA Cup. I think for me, like if we won the League Cup and we came second and we came like a few points behind Man City, obviously I'll be disappointed we haven't won the league again, but I would be happy that I think we need to win a trophy. I think for me that's our goal for next season, because we've not won anything since lockdown, and I think we struggle to balance out the different competitions. Like, I think when we won the FA Cup, I don't think we did great that season, but we still came home. We still came home with a trophy. And when the season's finished, you'll look at the teams that have won things. I know people might have said, West Ham, maybe Man United have had a better season than us, which, people are entitled to their opinion. But I think to come second, I think that is a big improvement from coming fifth. And like I said, none of us expected us to be in that position. I didn't. I think for me, going into the season, we needed to get Champions League football. We needed to be in the top four. I think it has been quite frustrating being out of the top four, because obviously when Wenger left, fans wanted him to leave so we could get back to where we belong. And it's just taken such a long time to get to where we want to be. And I do think there are changes at the club. I think a lot of positive changes around the culture. When you go to the games, you do notice that positive atmosphere, and a lot of stuff for the better has changed. But I just think for me, we need to win something, and I think people do look down on trophies like maybe the League Cup, the FA Cup, and like people do prefer the Champions League and the league, which they are great competitions. But I do think it's hard to win the league though, because it's so long, it goes on for such a long time. So yeah, I just think we need to go for those other competitions, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the atmosphere and the fans and everything like that, do you know what? Last season was special. It's certainly something you can even hear it on the television, right? Where even when something goes against us, for the moment, I mean, I'm thinking of Saliba scoring the own goal, right? All of a sudden, whereas sometimes it would have just really got flat, it built up again, and that given that encouragement, it feels like the club are moving in the right direction. It feels like the majority of the fans are in the same, that they're intertwined. They've got they know what they want to do. They know what they want to achieve. It's just a case of, can we get this over the line? Can we finish off the job? Let's just say, I really hope we can do it, so because it's been so long. It's lovely picking up FA Cups and stuff like that. But when you get special moments like we've spoken when we did our last pod together, of Anfield '89, and the moments then you can see Mickey Thomas just striding in that last minute of the season to put the ball in the net to secure a league title. Their moments are special. There's the Aguero moment from Blimmin when City started their decade of terror, basically, is what it is for an Arsenal fan, isn't it? They've been picking up all the trophies all the time. Yeah, let's hope we can get ourselves back to a level and consistently stay there. It would be so nice to see Arsenal consistently.
Yeah, I'm with you back. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Back, yeah.
I think that's what it's about, really. I think next season will be important. Like, I think because we've set the bar high now to challenge the league, I think people like us will want that again, and we expect high of Arsenal, because we have struggled in recent years for a long time without winning the league. but I think now's the right time, and I see those positive changes at the club. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't know about that. I hope so. If you're still with us.
that's
But
the
yeah.
ultimate scripting, that is.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have a successful season next season. Before I wrap the show up, I just wanted to ask you. We know you have your YouTube channel, Gooner Gathering. Which I put in the description. Could you just tell people a bit about your channel, what sort of content you produce?
Thank you very much for the opportunity to do so, Soph. I really appreciate you having me on the show for starters.
I've loved it. It's been lovely.
Yeah, it's been brilliant, mate. I've really enjoyed it. So, yeah, for people who don't know me and not familiar with me, I'm Gooner Lee Meadows. I am the founding father of Gooner Gathering. Our channel, I think, very much like Sophie's tone of her channel, to be fair. We are very much a family-friendly channel. We give people an opportunity to have their say. It's a place where it's a safe place, if you like, where you can come and have your opinion. We'll talk about anything and everything, from silliness to serious stuff to the transfer news breaking. We do live watch-alongs. We've done tier list. Hopefully we can do another tier list coming up very soon. We are going to be recording in about an hour's time, hopefully to go on the channel tomorrow. We're going to have the Gooner Gathering Awards coming up, which is going to be a whole load of silliness. Basically myself, Posh Bertie, Sam Wilson, Matt Roberts, and the wonderful Fran Golozzo, we've all got together. We all worked together as a brilliant team to just bring you our side of our ultimately we all are Arsenal fans. We all love doing what we're doing, putting on the family friendly content. We might not necessarily agree with everything, but it's going to be so much fun. And the channel has really grown authentically over the last. We started up in October. Now we're on 176 subscribers. It's such an amazing effort from everybody. I'm so pleased with my team as well. They're putting their time and effort to doing this thing. It's great. So make sure you give us a look. Soph's got to put it in the description. Make sure you follow Sophie. Make sure you give the whole stream a like as well, everyone. Sophie's amazing. She's got so much coming up as well. She's going to be incredible. You watch her grow and grow and grow. She's going to be incredible. She's going to be taking over on TalkSport. That's what I won't.
Well, thank you so much, Lee. And
it's been a pleasure, mate.
Please subscribe to his channel, as we need to get him to 200 subscribers. That'll be amazing. You deserve that. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. I have put your channel in the title and the description, so please go over to Lee's channel, check his stream out later, and subscribe. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. It was so lovely to chat with you all as well in the comments. And yeah, please smash the like button, subscribe. I will do. Thank you for Posh Bertie for coming on and checking this video out as well. Thank you to Harry as well. So yeah, smash the like button and subscribe, and I shall see you all very soon. Bye.